A terrific breast cancer awareness event at a local high school volleyball game. Welcome inside the comfy confines of Channel 13 for a Tuesday night. I'm Scott. We'll get with Angela in a moment and talk about some temperatures I think you're going to really love. How do temperatures in the high 70s and then lows in the 50s sound to you? To me, sounds pretty good after 9 days or whatever we had of 90-degree temps. So we'll get with Angela in a moment. And our big story that we're going to be covering on the news tonight at 11 o'clock, these Afghan refugees, potentially thousands of them, staying here in Indiana temporarily. Friend of the show, Emily Longnecker, will be joining us in a moment to talk about Camp Atterbury's plans to house these evacuees from Afghanistan. So let us know where you're watching Facebook Live tonight. Let us know the city, and we'll give you a shout out over the next 10 to 15 minutes. But let's begin our evening together with Angela to talk about what I think are going to be some pretty nice days ahead weather-wise.
Yeah, as I was doing my walk this morning, I thought, you know what? I might have to add an extra mile on Thursday, because Thursday morning, we're going to be in the 50s.
I love that.
I know. After what feels like a really hot, humid couple of weeks. And you're right, we ended up with, out of the 9-day, what we'll call the heat wave, we had 8 out of 9 in the 90s.
My goodness, all right.
And really the only reason we didn't get 9 in a row is because we had storms one day.
Right. So the humidity is really going to be disappearing here?
Yes. In fact, we monitor dew point temperatures for that, and we consider any dew point at or above 65 uncomfortable.
Right.
Lafayette earlier this evening was already in the low 60s. So that drier air, more comfortable air starting to move our way. We did track a few showers and a couple of thunder showers today. Places like Knightstown. We have a friend on Twitter that reported 5 inches of rain in his rain gauge.
5 inches of rain?
Just from today. So it was kind of this band of rain that set up along I-70 east of Indianapolis, and there were a few places in the range of 4 to 5 inches in western Wayne County as well, just west of Richmond. The rain is beginning to wind down, but as I expand the view, you can see we obviously have what's left of Ida now across the southeastern part of the country. So they're getting heavy rain from parts of Kentucky into Tennessee, into Georgia, and this will eventually make its way toward the East Coast. What you see out to our west is forecast to more move south and kind of fall apart before it gets here. So a drier weather pattern setting up for us. Few clouds around early tomorrow, 62, 74 midday, and highs with sunshine tomorrow afternoon in the upper 70s. And the muggy meter is going down when we get dew points in the 50s. That's also kind of how we gauge how low temperatures will go. So with dew points in the 50s, we can forecast low temperatures in the 50s.
Wow, that sounds nice.
Yeah, some comfortable days coming our way.
That's great. A lot of folks joining us tonight here on Facebook Live. Let's go ahead and give you a few shout outs tonight. Jackie from B-Town, good to see Bloomington in the house tonight. Melissa is joining us. Liz is with us this evening. Julianne is with us. Christine, another Bloomington viewer this evening. Denise from Springville, Indiana. Ralph from Alabama joining us tonight. So we're getting some out-of-state folks. Jackie from McCordsville. Kathy from Mooresville. Let's see, Sandra from California tonight. Ooh. Good to have you with us, Sandra, tonight. Chris is also with us, and Renita, Brandy, and Renita's happy about the forecast, saying, yippee, I can get the yard mowed.
Yeah, I've got some weeds to pull, Renita, so I'm with you. Yard work is on my to-do list.
Last few days will be the next few days will be the time to do that. So we'll get with Angela in a moment, talk about the next few days and some of these great temperatures that we're going to be experiencing. But let's talk about our big story of the evening and get with Emily Longnecker. She's been at Camp Atterbury today talking about this big story, this idea, Em, that Indiana is going to be hosting potentially thousands of Afghanistan refugees. Tell us about this story.
Yeah, thousands of folks, men, women, and children, really, Scott, who've left behind the only home that they've really ever known to have a fresh start here in the United States. And that could be happening within days. We know right now that thousands of these evacuees, tens of thousands of them, are being held at transit centers in Europe and Asia, where they're being screened. They called it a robust security processing. before they can come here to the United States. Once they come here, they get COVID tested at the airport, and they're offered the vaccine. They're trying to figure out ways to get them the vaccine. Some have already been vaccinated, and then within days, they'll be here. Many of them at Camp Atterbury, and these are folks. These are Afghanis, many who worked with the United States troops, with our troops over the past 20 years in Afghanistan. So they're allies, and they're coming, as well as their families. Many of them worked as interpreters, and other Afghans that were deemed vulnerable by the United States will be here too. So they'll be coming here to Camp Atterbury. It's not meant to be a permanent stay. It's been described to us as a temporary stay by a senior administration official. They'll have health screenings here. They'll get work authorizations. They'll work with resettlement organizations to basically find them places to go and new lives to start here in the United States.
And the governor, I understand, has got a news conference scheduled for Wednesday to talk about this very subject. Any idea what Governor Holcomb may be talking about as it relates to these evacuees?
We don't really have any indication about the comments, just an update on the process. But, he did issue a statement today saying, as Hoosiers, we are proud to do our part and provide a temporary home for Afghan evacuees who have supported this nation. And now, it's, I guess, our turn, our chance to support these folks, basically.
All right, so we'll get more details from the governor's office tomorrow, and we will look forward to watching Emily's story tonight on 13 News at 11. This big story coming on a day when the president addressed the rest of the country about the end of America's longest war, 20 years in Afghanistan, ending yesterday with the final troops and final flights moving U.S. troops out of Afghanistan. And now we're going to be talking about these evacuees, maybe potentially up to 5,000 of them, men, women, and children coming to Camp Atterbury. That'll be a story that we'll continue to cover on 13 News at 11 o'clock. All right, let's bring Angela back and talk about an event that I covered tonight. Reason for the pink socks.
I love them.
Yeah. So it was really sweet. I got a Facebook notice from a young volleyball player. She's a senior at Indian Creek High School in Trafalgar, Indiana. And this is going back a couple of weeks ago. She decided that what she wanted to do was create a cancer awareness event surrounding their volleyball team. Aww. They had a match tonight, and they won their match. And that's a great thing. But she really wanted to create an event that would talk about specifically stage 4 breast cancer. And this was something that volleyball teams across the country are doing, and they went ahead and put together, it's called Dig Pink. And so they had a bake sale, and they had some auction items, and they had lots of pink balloons. And they asked, knowing my wife's own personal battle with stage 2 breast cancer, they asked my wife, Janae, and I to come and talk to the crowd. Aww. So we did that tonight, and there is Janae looking beautiful.
Yes.
And, she does not do public speaking for a profession, but boy, she did a wonderful job tonight. I was so proud of her. She got up and talked about her faith, talked about the importance of early detection, the annual screenings that we've talked about in Janae's journey, the mammograms that are so important. And this is young Emily, who's this varsity volleyball player there at the high school, Indian Creek. And we were so thankful that Emily called us, invited us to come out, be part of their big event tonight. So we want to give kudos to Emily, her volleyball team, and Indian Creek High School in general for putting the focus on breast cancer awareness. And Janae gave a homework assignment tonight to each person there, saying, please talk to the women in your lives and ask them if they've received a mammogram this year. And if they haven't, please ask them to get a mammogram, because early detection, as we know in breast cancer, and particularly in my wife's journey, she was able to beat breast cancer because of the early screening that she got. She had surgery, 30 rounds of radiation. She's been victorious over cancer. That's what we want for you and the women in your life. So please, please, please get the women in your life to get a mammogram, get screened, so they can go ahead and live long, happy lives.
Yes, and it is safe to do so
Oh, it
during the
is.
pandemic.
Oh,
and I know
absolutely.
there were probably lots of women that thought, okay, I don't feel comfortable going into the doctor's office.
Right.
I don't feel comfortable doing this, but don't put it off. You
Right.
just can't put your mask on, you'll be just fine.
Right. Here's the other thing that Janae is doing. When you go ahead and schedule your mammogram, go ahead and put down the comment of the date that you're going to have your mammogram, and Janae will pray for you. She's got a prayer journal. She writes every woman's name that has contacted her, and she's got dozens and dozens and dozens of women that she prays for every day when they have their mammogram. So if you're going to go ahead and have one scheduled on behalf of Janae, go ahead and send me a note. We'll get you in the prayer journal, but so important.
It is, and think of the hundreds of women that may not have gotten one,
Right.
but have because of Janae.
Yeah, she was courageous, brave. Again, public speaking is not something she really enjoys, but boy, she did a great job tonight. And again, thanks again for everybody down at Indian Creek. And they won their game tonight
Yay!
in 5 sets.
That is awesome.
All right, so for folks that are going to be waking up tomorrow and the next couple of days, how's the weather looking?
Much better. If you haven't liked the high heat, high humidity, we're getting a break. Temperatures will be in the low 60s, midday 74, and highs with sunshine in the upper 70s. And you weren't kidding. We have lots of folks checking in tonight.
Yeah.
Cheyenne from Morristown, Terry from Plainfield, Tiffany from West Lafayette, Beverly Anderson,
Nice.
Irene in North Vernon, Holly in Brownsburg, Don saying hi from Southport, Sandy in Muncie. We can't name them all tonight, so thanks so much, everybody, for checking in. Vera in Greenwood, I love that name, by the way. Alicia in Poland, Indiana, Darlene in Muncie, Kim in Carmel, Naomi from Linton. We've got Elaine in Virginia, so another out-of-stater.
Yep.
So lots and lots of folks checking in tonight.
Yeah, that's great. And we are so thankful that you do watch us. Angela and I are here every weeknight, 10 o'clock here on the WTHR Facebook page. You can also find us on the WTHR app and on WTHR's YouTube page. So lots of ways to check in, but Facebook is the way that you can communicate with us.
You can say hi. We like that part.
Just a comment. So tonight on the big show at 11 o'clock, we're going to be talking about the 7-day forecast. You're going to love the weather that Angela's talking about. And we've got the big story, of course, Afghan evacuees coming here to the state of Indiana to Camp Atterbury. Thanks so much for joining us here on Facebook. We'll see you tonight at 11. Good night.